when you see this station, it will appear, it'll actually be two stations, but it'll all be this guy. Okay? One station will just be the wall. One station will just be the torso left over. So I've got the wall off so that we can identify the diaphragm. Right? Diaphragm is the major muscle of expiration. It is the muscle of quiet breathing, and it participates in all others. But if we were to say what participates in quiet breathing, diaphragm is one of the two. So when you're breathing at rest, that's quiet breathing. Diaphragm is the boss. Right? Additionally, to the diaphragm, we have the external intercostals. External intercostals, based on their angle, right here, right? If they get short, they are pulling the bucket handle up, right? Based on how they pull in this direction. So angle at this way pulls the bucket handle up. So these are quiet breathing, but they assist in inspiration. Right? Diaphragm does both because as it relaxes, it pushes and depresses up into the thoracic cage. So the only two that are quiet breathing, diaphragm, external intercostals. Right? Internal intercostals are angled the opposite way. So when they get short, they pull the bucket handle down. So internal intercostals are forced expiration. They compress the rib cage, depress the thoracic cage, right? So expire. Inside, we have transversus thoracis. This also compresses. It pulls the bucket handle down. It also helps to pull backwards this way. So it is a forced expiration muscle. As we look in here, we see transverse abdominis, also going to oppose the diaphragm dropping down, so forced expiration. Rectus, we said forced expiration because it opposes the diaphragm. External and internal obliques both oppose the diaphragm. So these are muscles of forced expiration as well. Nearly all of these, if it's in the abdomen, it's forced expiration. So that's a good rule of thumb if you're trying to put some things together. The only inspiration muscles on this are our external intercostals and pec minor. Pec minor runs up to the shoulder, and as you're breathing hard, have you ever been breathing so hard your shoulders start to burn? You know, you're running a long distance, you're breathing hard, and you put your arms up because your shoulders are just burning. That's because this muscle is trying to compensate for your diaphragm being underactive or inhibited. So this muscle attaches up to the humerus, and it normally is an internal humeral rotator, right? But when your humerus is in normal neutral position, it pulls the bucket handle up. So it assists in breathing. It is a forced inspiration muscle. All right, so that's our abdominal wall here. So this will be a station. We have two inspiration muscles, the rest are expiration. Looking over here, we mentioned the SCM before, we took that off, sternocleidomastoid. So remembering the name, we've got our locations, our sternum, our clavicle for cleido, and our mastoid process. So this pulls the bucket handle up, forced inspiration. Our scalenes, you don't have to say anterior, medial, or posterior, you can just say scalenes. These muscles attach to ribs 1 and 2, and they pull the bucket handle up. So these are forced inspiration as well. We do not see it on this model, right? But we have present deep to the traps, deep to the levator, deep to splenius capitis, deep to these rhomboids. there is a muscle that attaches at this angle